We are usually taught that trust is a heavy, sacred bond, a structure built slowly, year after year, through honesty and proven loyalty. But trust is also a specific neurochemical reaction. While we value the long-term bridge, the brain is capable of triggering that same sense of security almost instantly when provided with the right signals. Most people try to win this reaction by highlighting their successes or attempting to appear flawless. However, those overt efforts often signal to the brain that someone is trying too hard, which actually raises our natural defensive walls. Skilled manipulators take the opposite approach. They rely on a sequence of subtle, unspoken cues designed to bypass those logical defenses in a matter of minutes. By walking through a hypothetical 5-minute encounter, we can identify these signals as they happen. When you recognize how these strings are pulled, they lose their power over you. In the first minute of an encounter, the process begins before a substantive word is spoken. It starts with the warm handshake. There is a biological basis for this. Cold hands can subconsciously signal fear or nervousness, which the recipient's brain often interprets as a reason for distrust. Conversely, a warm hand projects confidence and safety. By ensuring their hands are warm before contact, a manipulator sets a baseline of physical comfort before the conversation even starts. As the second minute begins, the manipulator transitions to a behavioral technique known as subconscious mirroring. They observe the other person's posture, hand placement, and vocal tone. If the target leans back or speaks in a low volume, the manipulator waits a few seconds and then adopts the same behavior. We naturally trust those who look and act like us. When mirrored subtly, the brain flags the stranger as a familiar peer, not a threat. This creates instant familiarity, completely bypassing the skepticism we reserve for people we've just met. By the end of these first 2 minutes, the manipulator has quieted the initial physical alarm systems, creating the opening they need for more direct psychological influence. In the third minute, the focus shifts to emotional infiltration through a tactic called the flawed confession. Instead of trying to impress, the manipulator shares a small, calculated weakness, like admitting they feel slightly out of their depth with a current task. This exploits the human impulse for reciprocity. When someone appears to trust us with a secret, our brain feels a reflexive pressure to return that trust. As a result, the listener often drops their own guard and begins sharing genuine personal information to match the vulnerability they've just witnessed. By minute 4, the manipulator is no longer just building rapport. They are beginning to guide the other person's thoughts using the gentle advice trick. Instead of stating an opinion directly, they frame it as wisdom from an authority figure. They might say, "My grandfather always told me that the best way to handle this is..." We tend to resist being told what to do by peers, but we often defer to the borrowed authority of elders or mentors. By framing their suggestion this way, the manipulator makes their advice feel objective and safe. By the end of the 4th minute, the victim has shared personal secrets and begun to accept the manipulator's guidance, all without realizing their critical thinking has been sidelined. The final minute introduces a counterintuitive mechanism, the Benjamin Franklin effect. Rather than doing a favor for the other person, the manipulator asks for one. It's always something small and effortless, like asking to borrow a pen. This creates cognitive dissonance. The brain experiences friction because it's supporting someone it barely knows. To resolve this, the brain aligns the gears by creating a new narrative, assuming that because it is helping, it must naturally like and trust this person. In under 5 minutes, the manipulator has used these biological shortcuts to manufacture a level of rapport that usually takes weeks to develop. These cues are used in everyday social and professional environments. Understanding these rules is the most effective way to ensure you are making decisions based on facts rather than engineered signals. To keep sharpening your awareness of these psychological patterns, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Have you ever noticed someone trying to mirror your movements in a conversation? Let us know in the comments. Stay sharp.